Hello, hello. Yep, I'm back. Hey everyone, it's Lek Archie, and I'm here with another speed paint video. And this one is a little more polished, I would hope. As you can see, there's a little mini me in the corner over there, just drawn away. A totally accurate portrait. Um, yeah, I put my animation degree to use for the first time in uh, a literal decade. I have not animated anything in so long. Uh, but yeah, I just made that cute little mini me to have in the corner there, or to be a GIF or a sticker. You guys can let me know if you don't like it, or if you would just prefer to not have the area with my layers obstructed, and I'll get rid of it. But I kind of like it. I think it's cute. Adds a little flavor to the video. Um, I've also put indicators for the time elapsed, what I'm drawing, and just whatever song is playing in the background currently, so I don't have to do the whole end credits thing. But yeah, so this is another speed paint video. I am again just making another page of Atlas Academy, season 2. Because, that's where the story is at. Well, it's currently on hiatus, but I am working on, like, the rest of Season 2. And, I guess then I'll just, talk about, what's going on in this actual comic, because I sort of let that out in the first video. Yeah, so the first video was just meant to, pretty much, just go over what Atlas Academy is, for any new viewers or people who might be interested in it. But this time around, I guess then I'll just go into this comic. I won't get into like heavy spoilers for season 2. I don't know if anyone in my audience really cares about spoilers or might actually want spoilers, but I don't view like just the general concept of the story of the comic as a spoiler. So here we go. Spoiler warning or not spoiler warning or whatever. I'm gonna just say what the comic's about. So for this particular comic, I named it in my file as like the bookstore haunting, but the actual name might change once I upload it, whenever that is. Well, it'll be after I finish it, but in this comic, what happens is that Caden and company go to the bookstore when there's like a big sale, and Caden bumps into a new supporting character. This is the official comic introduction of Cedar Fielding, and Cedar is a wood elf. So what that means is that they're an elf, and wood elves have they're very attuned to nature, very reliant on nature. Like the state of the environment is very like impactful to them. Because a lot of them live like a nomadic life, it's sort of away from like capitalism and all that. But as the world developed and industrial revolution, um, climate change and all that, their way of life sort of started disappearing. And Cedar is very, very bitter about that. Um, you can also see that they have prosthetics, and that's because due to the forest their parents conceived them in, it was heavy with pollution, um, and there wasn't really anything that they could do about that, or they didn't like realize just how polluted the area was until Cedar was born. But Cedar was born with a lot of birth defects. They have a very weak, almost non-existent immune system, and they were born with no arms. And Cedar does not like interacting with humans. They're very embittered about, what they've done to the planet, and all that. And in this story, Caden's gonna, bump into them, and Cedar actually already doesn't like him because in a previous comic, Caden sort of went berserk due to some frat boy shenanigans. That's in the comic Quid Pro Code. Quid Bro Code. That comic. So if you want to get the full context of what happened there, you should read that particular episode. But basically, Caden accidentally like burned down the school forest. Cedar had to use their magic to fix that, and now they don't like Caden. Arguably, a bit justifiable given what Caden did. regardless of the circumstances. Cedar does not like anyone who like hurts nature in any way. Um, but the actual plot of the comic is that once the sale of the bookstore wraps up, the next morning it turns out well, it looks like somebody broke in and they didn't take anything. They didn't take any money. The only thing missing were like this very specific type of snacks food. So the rest of the comic is gonna be about everybody, being paranoid or trying to discern like what happened. Bo and Eclair, I'm actually planning for them to like try and investigate what happened. Uh, yeah. So this comic, um, in particular, this one has like a lot of subplots. I don't usually like to do subplots. I mean they're good for like breaking up the main point of the story, like if that can get boring, but I usually like to keep it really focused. I try not to add in subplots, but this one is gonna have like two subplots plus the main story. So the main story is Caden trying to Caden trying to talk to Cedar because after the bookstore break-in, he can see that something's wrong with them. Like they're acting nervous instead of like angry and combative. They're being very very avoidant about the topic of the bookstore. So Caden thinks there's something there, and he's gonna try to talk to Cedar, but Cedar of course hates him, so that's not gonna go as well as he hopes. The other subplot is Bo and Eclair launching their own investigation after the police leave, because the police pretty much just chalk it up to a random act of vandalism, and since nothing important is missing, they don't really do an investigation. So Bo and Eclair are gonna take it upon themselves to try and figure out what happened. And then Nye actually a new fact about Nye is gonna be revealed here, but basically, Nye is pretty superstitious, or at least has a big fear of ghosts and like spirits. The idea of like a dead person, like said, coming back to take to expend their wrath on people who may have wronged them or people who didn't wrong them. It really freaks them out, and Nye ends up believing that it was a ghost attack that toward the store part, because it doesn't make sense for someone to break in and not take anything. Um, and it's not completely outlandish since magic is a thing. Why wouldn't ghosts also be a thing? But Nye is sort of fretting about that, and Paige, a character that I didn't talk about in my last video, but if you've been reading the comics, you're very familiar with her. But Paige invites Nye to a sleepover that she's having with like some of the most popular girls in school, which she is also a really popular girl. But Paige basically sees that Nye is freaking out. She feels kind of bad, and she invites her like to a sleepover because Nye is like, I don't know how I'm gonna sleep tonight, and Paige is like, hey, would it make you feel better if you slept alongside other people, or if you weren't alone? And Paige invites them to that. And as previously discussed, Nye sort of struggles with social skills. So how she's going to fare in like a sleepover situation, something that she's never been in before, in front of these really like popular high class girls who are like used to socializing. Yeah, that's gonna be some shenanigans going on with that. But yeah, that's the premise of this comic, basically. And yeah, that's all I can say without spoiling the whole thing. Yeah, the themes of this comic, it's basically well, the takeaway from this comic, well, the big takeaway is going to be that doomerism is like a self-fulfilling prophecy. Because Cedar is very like negative about the world, thinking that no humans care, hope is lost, how badly their life has been affected, and nobody can blame them for being angry about having to live such a disadvantaged life, or having to cross all these hurdles, being disabled because of things that humans have done, like out of greed or carelessness. But there are some humans who also agree with them that this is very unfair, and they're willing to help. And their interactions with Caden are going to result in them learning the lesson of, hey, I know the world looks bleak, but, accepting that, it's over does mean that it's over, and if you can do even just one thing, or just believe that things are gonna get better, eventually things are gonna get better. Yeah, so that's this comic. Yeah, and the page that I'm, coloring right now, that's just that's when the break-in is first like discovered by all the students, and you can see them like fading about what's happening. Caden's trying to look over and he sees like the police investigating, and the sight of police makes him nervous for obvious reasons. And he sees Cedar being nervous as well. He's like, what's going on with that? And then here's Nye, and Nye's going to explain that they might have a clue as to what happened, and whatever happens will be on the next page. Yeah, with Atlas Academy, or any comic that I do, I usually try to have like a scene, or at least like the biggest parts of a scene, in 1 or 2 pages. Because scenes in particular, I don't know if you guys have read Story by, I think, Robert McKee, but that book really helped me in terms of writing. To paraphrase from that, I'm probably misremembering and definitely paraphrasing, but a scene indicates like a change of energy. Like that's like the difference between like a scene and exposition. So exposition is just when characters are explaining something that happened, and their emotions, what they think about things don't really change. And a scene on the other hand is when something about the story and characters changes within that time frame, in addition to new information being presented. So if this page was just exposition, then it would just be someone saying, like I said, oh, the school store was broken into, we've got to go investigate. But the page starts out with Caden, being worried, just looking, being concerned about what happened, sort of, and then it changes to him being concerned about Cedar, because Cedar's nervous. And then Nye pops in and says that, hey, if you want to find out what happened, follow me. And now Caden is confused. Like, so, in addition to knowing that the school store was supposedly, broken into, now Caden has gone from, being nervous about the store to, worried about Cedar to, curious or confused about what Nye has to show him, all in the, span of a single page. So, like, that's an example of, like, energy changing. It's not very noticeable, sometimes, because, when you've done something right, people won't be sure if you've done anything at all, or however Futurama said it. But, yeah, I try to make sure that my characters, like, go through a wide range of emotions. Like, they're not just talking at each other, they're talking, like, to each other. Yeah, my characters, I try to make them experience, like, a wider range of emotions, rather than just saying story at each other. Like, there's a difference between characters, being involved in a story and being affected by a story, rather than just being around a story. Because there are a lot of action movies in particular, or rather doomsday movies, do this a lot, which I hate. So like there might be a plot where like it's the end of the world or something really big is happening, and the characters, rather than having any like emotional straits, like whether it be like panicking or trying to like make good with their god if they believe in a god, or trying to sort out their affairs, or maybe even trying to have a last big hurrah. Like, those are all examples of things that or ways that humans might react if they think the end of the world is happening. But a lot of the time they're just explaining, hey, this is why the world is ending, this is what we need to do to have it, and they just have this like straight face as like they're talking about this big world-ending event. And yeah, it's just boring. Yeah, if the only spectacle you have is that the world is going to be blown up, and the characters are just there to tell you the world has until this long to be blown up unless we do da 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 da. What are the characters even there for? I mean, I know what they're there for. They're there for exposition, but I just don't really like it when characters only exist to explain a story rather than to be a part of it. Because you know, you can tell when writers just want or just care about like the spectacle, or aren't very well versed in making engaging characters. But in this particular comic, I actually really like it. Even though like a break-in at like the school bookstore isn't like a big spectacle, everybody's talking about it, and everybody has very different reactions to it, and I feel like that makes my characters maybe feel a bit more human in a sense, because you know, Caden's concerned about like the break-in. Well, he's more concerned about Cedar and start to think that maybe they might have had something to do with it or that they know something. Um, Nye, when they think it's a ghost that's broken in, they're very scared. They're very nervous about the situation. They're petrified about the school break-in, because they think it's a ghost. Um, Bo is curious about what happened. He's not necessarily panicking. He's just curious, and he's pretty much waiting for somebody who knows what's going on to find out what happened. And Claire, of course, she's very logical. And you know, she's a scientist. She's like, I'm not going to come to a conclusion until we have enough evidence. Bo, come with me. We're going to gather evidence. And yeah, that's a very wide range of ways to react to the exact same situation, I feel. And that's what makes characters interesting. It differentiates them from each other. It opens the door for them to, you know, have their own stories and subplots, even though the exact same thing has occurred in their world. Uh, and I think it's important that characters be able to do that. Your characters should never sound exactly the same. Like if a character's reacting to something in one way, they shouldn't have the exact same reaction as another character, I feel. Um, it's good to test out how your characters would sound conveying the same information. Uh, you know, because they shouldn't be have the exact same dialect, I should say rather. If you had like a script in front of you and all the characters were talking and you blotted out their names, you should be able to tell who's talking pretty much. Uh, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about the comic in particular. Um, yeah, I got sidetracked into talking about character writing in action movies. I warned you that I can get sidetracked. But yeah, that's pretty much the comic. Um, hmm, what should I talk about? Oh, maybe I should talk a little bit about my drawing process. Yeah, I don't know what you guys want to hear about my process. It's so jank, it's so disorganized. You can see me fumbling quite a few times in both this Sweet Paint and the other one. Yeah, I try to organize my assets. If you guys don't know, Clip Studio Paint has an asset store, and while you can buy things with their currency like Clippy or gold, there's also a lot of really good assets that are completely free, and you could just like download them. Um, yeah, most of the assets that I have are free. A few of them I spent Clippy on, but not many. Um, but there's the most that I download are brushes usually. There's a lot of like handy dandy brushes, not just for drawing, but also for like making outfits. For example, like there's the plaid brush, brushes that like do stripes or maybe polka dots, and you can put that on clothes. You know, and you can you know, turn the pen to make it go along with like the folds. Um, oh, another thing with brushes is that you know, they can have like liquid, flowers, leaves. I mean, you can see all the little sections that I have to the topmost left. I ended up making like most of those. You can make like subtool folders yourself. I have a lot that puts like people in the background. Like the police on this page, those are from like a brush. Like, and I think that I like, you know, alter them a little bit, spruce up the lines. But aside from that, because the police didn't need character designs, I didn't really need to waste time coming up with character designs for them because they're literal like background fodder. So I just searched up for a brush. I searched cop or police in the asset store, and lo and behold, there was a brush that made police officers. So yeah, I did a little bit of cheating if you wanna call it cheating. Most people would just call it efficient. I choose to call it efficient. uh, because it's different when I'm making an illustration. Like an illustration, I will absolutely try to hand draw everything myself because that's just one image that's standing on its own. But when you're making a comic and you have to like meet deadlines and tell a story and all that, time is of the essence. Efficiency is your friend. Um, Little cheat codes are your friend. Because as long as you keep drawing, you're eventually going to get good at everything. Um, as long as you don't take every single shortcut possible to the point that you're barely putting a line on the page yourself, I don't think it's wrong to make use of these assets. Like that's what they're here for. But I feel like it's especially pertinent for people who make comics or make things with tight deadlines, like weekly deadlines. Because I mean, you could hand draw everything and still meet the deadline, and if you have that God-given ability, then more power to you. But there are a lot of people out here like me who well, we don't want our hands to fall off completely. Like we need those. We need those. We need those to draw other things. And ultimately I try to only use assets for things that aren't that important, like background objects, background people, trees, houses in the distance, etc. And at the end of the day, most people don't really pay attention to those things. So if they notice that it's like a pre-bought asset, or if it doesn't look 100% detailed, I don't think anyone really cares. At least they don't care enough to say anything. So I'm gonna take that as that they don't care at all. But yeah. So definitely take shortcuts. Well, not shortcuts. Take advantage of the tools you have at hand, I should say, because assets are also tools. Brushes, assets, anything designed to make your life easier, you should definitely take advantage of it because you should want your life to be easy. You deserve it. Finish up early and have a treat. That's what you should do. um oh, and as far as the layering goes, I'm sort of, well, I am covering it, but uh the layer system in Clip Studio Paint, I do really like it. I like it a lot. Some people use masks, and some people just make a million bajillion folders. Um, I'm some people. I make a million bajillion folders. uh, yeah. So masks. I've just never been able to really figure them out. At least not to the extent that I can use them in my work. Really should. Masks seem really useful. Uh, but I what I do is I make folders, and I usually like clip them to base. Like in the video you should see me like making base. So I usually make the base colors their skin tone. So what I do is I color in the entire like figure, and then I make a folder above it and clip it to that. And then what's gonna happen is that whenever I make a layer inside of that folder, whatever I draw is gonna be confined to that base. So I color in characters' entire skin tone on their body, but well beneath their lines, and then I make the folder and make layers within that folder, like hair, clothes, pants, etc. And I use this special bucket. You can see it like on the screen. Um, and it detects all layers. So I try to color it in with that like bucket, and then you guys see. And it usually it does a good job of like detecting things. Sometimes I have to like fiddle with the setting depending on like how thick my lines are or like what the figure particularly is. But I do use that, and it's worked for me much of the time. Like once I downloaded that bucket, it sped up my process exponentially. Like once you start downloading assets, getting your groove, setting up your workspace, drawing, it's gonna become a lot more fun, gonna become a lot quicker and easier. You know, the quicker that you're able to finish a drawing, the quicker you're able to see the end results. And for me at least, it's always satisfying to see the end results. It's always encouraging because whenever you finish something, you feel accomplished. Like even if there's mistakes or flaws that you can still see, you still finished it. And you can upload it. You might get positive feedback, you might get negative feedback, you might get no feedback at all. But regardless, you've grown your portfolio a little bit. You've grown as an artist, and you might not have been able to do that if you weren't using every tool imaginable, every asset, every brush, every little shortcut, every strategy that is available. Because speaking for at least me, I used to draw on programs that didn't really have these things, and as a result of that, I gave up on drawings a lot more frequently because you know, at a certain point, like your wrist gets tired, you lose inspiration. You say that you'll come back to it, but then you have an idea for something else. But if you're able to make your drawing process more efficient, you're able to finish drawings a lot faster. You're able to make the actual labor of making a drawing a lot more lenient on yourself, and that is something that I feel is very underrated. I know that like starving artists, suffering artists, are sort of romanticized, but you know, artists, we can be hard on ourselves sometimes. I'm hard on myself as well. Yeah, I've said and thought terrible things about my own art. I try not to, but it's just the catch-22 of being an artist. A lot of people think your art looks great, but you know, you've developed skills to the point where all you can do is zero in on every little flaw that you did wrong that people who don't draw don't even see, and you're thanking them on the outside, but on the inside you're like, so why didn't I fix that? Why did I leave that here? I'm an idiot. But yeah, at the end of the day, no particular piece of art has to be perfect. I don't even think there's such a thing as one piece of art that is perfect. And flaws, in art, who knows? Maybe somebody else looking at it doesn't even view it as a flaw. Maybe a mistake you made actually makes the art look better to somebody else. Um, I'm dusting off an old cliche, but art is subjective. And you know, the longer you spend agonizing about trying to make your art perfect and flawless, like, the less art you're going to make, and the less you're going to grow. And, you know, the less other people are going to be able to enjoy your art and give you that encouragement and motivation that you might need to make even more. Um, so, you know, just draw. Just draw and grow. Try to make things if you are an artist, or if you're not an artist and you still make things, you know, make whatever you want to make. Because, you know, in this world, being able to make things that bring us joy, it's an underrated luxury. It's a freedom that we all have. All that's standing in your way is you. And I think that you are your own greatest critic. That's again another cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason because it's true. So if you do have Clip Studio Paint, I would encourage you to just keep using it, keep fiddling around. You know, watch a lot of tutorial videos, be it speed paint or like tips and tricks on Clip Studio Paint, because you'll be surprised what you can find out about the program. Like, I just learned about a new feature maybe 2 days ago, and I've been using this program for like 5 years. Yeah, yeah, a feature that was staring me in the face the whole time. I just never bothered to look up what it did. I was just doing my own thing because I was like, you know, in the habit of doing it my way. But I watched a different video, and lo and behold, something very useful came to my eye. But if you guys want any suggestions on you know, people to watch to get tips or tricks, I can just yeah, I can tell you the people that I've been following who have really like helped me out, or at least their advice is really good and the way they package it is really good. So I would encourage you to check out Lines Sensei. He gives tutorials like over speed paints, and he's amazing. His art is he makes it look so easy. And that's how you know he's an expert. He makes it look easy even though it's not. Like, but yeah, check out Lines Sensei on YouTube. He has tutorials for almost every stage of art. His most recent video was one on composition, and he breaks it down so well, like into little pieces. Cause I can get like overwhelmed when an art lesson contains a lot of information, but he breaks it down and makes it so like simple and easy to follow. He also has a Discord where you can do homework assignments and follow along with his speed paints. So yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Tara terrific as well. She doesn't as much give tips, I would say. But watching her process and hearing her talk, it's really helped me. It's what inspired me to make speed paint videos. Honestly, yeah, just seeing her process. Her art is stunning. I just have to say, I don't mean to sound like I'm gushing, but it is stunning. Like it looks like something that belongs on the Sistine Chapel, and watching her make it in the same program that I'm using, it's like, how? Literally, how? What am I doing wrong? But yeah, check out Terra Terrific if you just want to see really amazing art being made, and also just to listen to her because she's very funny, she's very charming. I love her energy. Um, Yeah, so Line Sensei, Tara Terrific, trying to think of anyone else. Uh oh yeah, Nadia XL, I think. It's Nadiaxel. Um yeah, they showed me Eclipse well the fill tool tutorial is what taught me about like the feature I didn't know about. It was the draft layer that I didn't know about, by the way. I always saw that pencil symbol and I just never clicked on it, but yeah, she put out like a really good tutorial. So I'll probably link that or at least put a picture of it up on the screen so you guys can search that to your own content. But yeah, so if just hearing me talk wasn't enough to inspire you to make some art, check out Line Sensei, Terra Terrific, and Nadia XL, or Nadia Zell, for just tips, tricks, encouragement, whatever it be. So yeah, that's about all that I have to say. I'll see you guys for the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Select like Archie, and y'all have a good night.
夜中